Good morning, everybody. Crafting Journey here. That Journey chick on Instagram. Friday's here. It's payday. Oh, yeah. And I had physical therapy yesterday, so I am cured. No. Do you want to dance? Come on. Let's dance. Come on. Let's dance. Come on. Let's dance. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Friday dance. Friday dance, ooh, ooh, ooh. I get to clean the carpet this weekend. Okay, I'm done dancing. How many steps was that? Let's see. 8. Yes. Okay. Back to the show. My heart is racing. Yes, it's payday, and I have pushed the button and purchased an iPad, but it's on 5 Easy Pays from QVC. Really good deal, 128 megabyte or gigabyte or whatever it is, 128. Good little iPad. Comes with a few things. Decent price, but if you guys want to make a donation to the channel to support the content of the channel, including my new iPad, please feel free. You can always donate through PayPal, one-time donation. You can donate through becoming a Patreon, which I would love, or a member of the channel. That's always cool. You can make donations as small as $1.99 a month if you become a member, and your name will be in green during our live chats. Yes, and I do giveaways. Yes. So, yesterday was National, Giveaway Day. And what some of you guys did was just really touched my heart. One person mentioned that she gave some money, gave her spare change to a homeless man. Yeah, that is so sweet. Now, I don't do that in my city because there's so many homeless. I feel like I would be swarmed. But yeah, that's so sweet. What did I give away? Well, what did I give away? Advice, yes. I know that's silly. But I feel like I try to support a lot of people. Throughout my day, I try to be positive, try to support people, try to lift them up. That's kind of my way of giving back, through my show, through the way, and plus I do giveaways all the time. And I'm thinking about doing maybe a mid-month July giveaway. Yeah, that doesn't include yarn. Maybe something else, You never know what I'm going to give away. So I'm planning a really special event here coming up. I can't tell you any more than that, but it'll be before the end of the month. So, let me tell you what you're seeing here. This is the section that I'm working on. I opened 4 sections thinking, this is going to go really quickly. And I did work on it yesterday. But what I've done here is, because the release paper will no longer stick because there's diamonds everywhere, there's still a lot of holes, but there's diamonds everywhere, is I take a piece of press and seal. You cannot do this with anything else. Press and seal. And I wouldn't do it on a completely bare canvas, but you can do it when you've got a lot of diamonds on here. And you just lay it lightly, because press and steel sticks really well. So you can just lay it lightly over your canvas, and then when you're ready to paint, you just see. Now it has stuck to where there is glue, but you just lightly take that off. It comes off really well. Then you pick it up. Like I said, I would hesitate to put it on bare glue, but you can put it over the diamonds just lightly, and you just kind of just do this, and then you can lift it off the next day, and you don't have a bunch of cat hair on your painting. But use it very judiciously, yeah, because you can see I've got a lot of diamonds in this section. I've got just a few colors left. Let me turn it around so you can see it. I worked for, I guess I put about 3 more hours into it yesterday, and I would say I probably need a couple of more hours to get it finished. So it'll be finished tonight. But look how pretty it is. So I've just got to finish this guy's suit and down in here, and the other side of this little lady here, and we'll be done. Ooh, ooh, ooh. This guy is so cool looking, isn't he? Yeah. He's probably my favorite part of this whole painting. Love, love, love the Alice. I don't know how the eyes, the eyes came out kind of funky looking because I put all that glitter in them. And I put a lot of the ABs up here and the cones of the hat up here. Anyway, it looks like this is like half Wizard of Oz, half Alice, with the hot air balloon. He looks like the Wizard of Oz. I don't know, but it's an Alice nonetheless, and I'm getting almost done with it. I think what I'm going to do is turn it this way and work on some of the ones I need to do here. If I can find that color. Oh man, I'm tired from physical therapy yesterday. I thought I was going to go in there and get a massage. Boy, was I wrong. First of all, same guy that was doing my knee. His name is Jim. He's a really nice guy. But he's really good at what he does. So he had, he did his evaluation. I told him all about the car accident, where I was hurting, where I was still hurting after the car accident, and he knew exactly what I was talking about, exactly which muscles I meant, and then he did like a little exam, to see what my range of motion was and things like that. He's like, turn here, turn there. Oh, even that hurts today. I do need a massage though. I will tell you that. He wants me to go to the Y and start swimming. Oh, maybe I should do that today. That is a good idea. Anyway, I digress. So he had me doing all these different, like a bicycle thing where I'm going like this and then backwards. Oh man. And then like a rowing thing. All stuff to work those back muscles. And then to end up with, he had me lay on this nice, this heat thing. It was so nice. So I was laying on this heat. It felt great. But I'm doing squats at the same time as I'm laying on this heat. Like, he doesn't waste an opportunity. And he knows that I still need knee work. So he's combining like the knee with the back, which is kind of cool. Yeah. But he's married with kids. Yeah, he's a little younger than me, not by much, but a little younger. Not super attractive, but he's got a nice personality and we get along really well. But yeah, someday I'm going to meet a guy like that that's eligible. I don't want to marry him or anything. I just, want to have some good times. I like living alone. I get to do what I want when I want. Yeah. Nothing can beat that. I am so set in my ways that I don't think I could take another human being in this house, I say that, but I am adaptable. Yes. It just depends on the human being. I mean, if his last name is Bezos, okay, well, come on in. And I got a little story about Jeff Bezos here in a little while. Oh, so let's see. Ringworm update. Tootsie is taking her medicine very, very well. She whatever I put it in, she eats it. So it must not be horrible tasting. Thank goodness. The kitties, I've tried to film them, but like every time they're doing something super cute, I find my camera, get it, point it at them, they stop. It's like they know. And they got into the craft room last night. Pearl was climbing up the dinosaur. Stitch knocked over a basket of yarn, and the yarn was everywhere. Oh my God, they're just like little terrors. But so much fun, they know now what time is dinner, and they They sit in the kitchen and wait for me to open the little can. And then they go racing towards the cat tree, because that's where I put their dinner, in the cat tree. Let me tell you, when I say racing, I do mean racing. They're like leaping over furniture to get to the cat tree for their dinner. Or I started giving I was giving them half a can at nighttime, and now I'm giving them half a can at breakfast too, because it seems like their appetite's getting larger. They're going through the dry food that I give them every day, and the cat and the wet food. They're like Pearl. For a while, I didn't think Pearl was growing, but she is. She's getting there. She's going to catch up with her brother soon, I think. They are respectively, let's see, Stitch is 4 months old and Pearl is 3 months old. So my plan is when they're 6 months and 5 months to get them fixed. Also, something I might have to say about but I believe, and I could be mistaken, but last year, in lieu of a pay raise, we got a bonus. So we're either going to get a bonus or a pay raise next month, which I'll probably use to get the cats fixed. I'd rather have the bonus, frankly, because either one is fine. I haven't had a raise since I started that job 2 years ago, over 2 years ago, because the first year I wasn't eligible for the raise, and then the second year we got a bonus. So I don't know what we're going to get this year. We shall see. I don't know how the company is doing financially, although I do know they've been adding hospitals to the network, so I hope they're doing okay, because I want to see a little bit of the profit. Oh my God, I fell asleep last night without my CPAP, and what it does is, then I snore. If I really get into a sleep, I'll snore, and I woke myself up. Because you can't breathe, so you wake yourself up. And I realized, okay, I got to go brush my teeth. But then my throat is so sore, My upper, like I can hardly swallow. So this hot coffee has been really good. Have you ever seen this cup? It says, kindness matters. I always try to be kind. I do. Doesn't always work, but I try. What? Okay. What national day is it? It is National Corn Fritter Day. Who knew? Yes, if you are a fan of corn, there's a day for you. And I will always preface this by saying corn was not meant to be eaten by people, especially me. Although I love it, it doesn't love me. It, yeah. Corn just goes out the same way it comes in. You don't digest corn. But oh, does it taste good. Corn fritters are the best. We used to go to this restaurant in Fort Lauderdale. I don't even remember which restaurant it was. I remember, I can see the restaurant. I can't see the name of it, but a couple of unique things that they served were gator. They served alligator at this restaurant. I never tried it. I'm not that brave. But when you sat down to, look at the menu and get ready to place your order, they would bring you some corn fritters, and they were round, and they were lightly dusted in powdered sugar, and they were magnificent. Now that's obviously the sweet variety, and I will gravitate towards anything sweet. But you can put peppers or veggies or some other thing into your corn fritter and make them the not sweet variety. So how do you celebrate it? Well, have a barbecue and make some corn fritters. I don't think I've ever tried to make them myself. I mean, that's a great idea. Yeah. And you can freeze them. If I were to make them myself, I could fry up a whole bunch, freeze them, and then you could take a few out of the freezer when you want to eat them. thaw them and maybe, dip them in the deep fryer real quick and make them fresh again, and you're all set. This portion of the painting that I'm doing is a bit of confetti here. Not disrespectful confetti, but confetti nonetheless. So I've actually resorted to single placing everything. Okay, is that what I want? Where's the one I just dropped? Oh, I had my pen there. Is it this one? No. Is it this one? Yep, that's the one. That's the one! It tries to disguise itself as a different symbol. I know I'm being silly today, but I'm so happy that the week is almost over. Today I've got these letters to do. I'm telling you, I'm so sick of these letters. But I'll get them done. I was working on yesterday after I left physical therapy. Oh, that's how I was going to say I gave back. I did give back yesterday. I couldn't remember how. The girl, there was 3 of us there yesterday, and all of us wanted to leave early. Well, no, somebody has to stay till 4:30. I had to go to physical therapy at 3, and it's in the building. It's right down the hall, physical therapy. I literally just walked down the hall. So I told the girls, listen, I'll be back at 4, and you guys can leave. So they were okay with that. So I gave back my time. So I actually stayed till 5 to work on these letters. So I wouldn't have as much to do today. And then hopefully today I can leave early. Because once I have those letters done and out the door, I do have some other projects that I can work on. Always have projects I can work on. Never a shortage of projects for me to work on. All right, we got judge, jury, and journey to cover. Wow. I'm just going to start out by saying wow. I will get to the current trial in a second, but I'm sitting there, working, doing letters. I'm always doing letters, different letters than the letters I was just talking about, different group of letters. I'm working on these letters I have to get out every day, and YouTube says Mollie Tibbetts hearing now, and I'm like, now? Because we just heard this news yesterday about the motions that were filed. So I tune into the Law and Crime channel, and lo and behold, there was a hearing, and they bring in the defendant, which is Christian Behena Rivera. They bring him in, they bring in the lawyer, all the lawyers are there, same lawyers from the trial, the same judge, and I love this judge. He's very, very nice. And so he says, okay, you guys have filed a motion to set aside the verdict, you filed a motion for a new trial. We're going to set a date for those, but today we're here on your motion to compel. So now what a motion to compel is when a particular party wants something from the other party, some sort of discovery, and the other side says, nope, we're not going to give it to you. Or they give it to, they produce it to the other side, but it's not complete, or there might be something missing. In this case, the state was saying, nope, we're not going to give it to you. So they did a motion to compel, and what that does is it asks the judge to compel the other side to give them the records or whatever it is that they want. So the defense goes over and says what they want, and in doing so, they reveal this entire crazy story that was discovered. And she's even got the witnesses right there in the courtroom ready to testify if the judge wants to hear them. So what she's saying is that after Christian Behena Rivera testified, and we know that when he testified, first of all, it's very unusual for a defendant to testify. He gets up and he testifies. through the interpreter because he doesn't speak English. You know, this crazy story how he came out of the shower, he was abducted by he's standing there, there's two men with guns and masks and sweaters in, you know, in the middle of summer, and which is why it made the story even less believable. And they abduct him, they make him drive his car to the road where Mollie would have been jogging, and they get out of the car, they come back with her body, throw it in the trunk, make him drive to the cornfield. He goes to the cornfield, they get out of the car and they disappear. He's left with his body in the trunk, so he takes the body and puts it in the cornfield, and then he leaves. And then later on, he tells the police where the body is, in the cornfield. So that's how they convicted him, because he knew exactly where the body was, and nobody really believed this cockamamie story that he was telling. You know, and supposedly he didn't tell that story to the police because they went before the guys left the scene. They threatened his family. They said, if you tell anybody, we're going to kill your family, your girlfriend and your daughter. So he didn't tell anybody. But now that he was on trial for murder, he was going to tell people. So after he testifies, a person that was in jail with this guy named Gavin Jones says that Gavin admitted to killing Mollie, that he worked at a trap house with a 50-year-old man, and that she was at this trap house. So then they have another woman call them and say that she had been abducted in this same area, taken to this trap house, and was thrown in a room, drugged, and had to prostitute herself in this trap house. I never even heard the term trap house. But she said she could hear that there were other women in this house. And she could hear, like, in the mornings when they would come to bring them breakfast, she could hear the men talking to these other women. And that this house was run by a man named James Lowe, who happened to be a 50-year-old man. Now, James Lowe is now in jail on drug charges, but is suspected of, they're trying to get enough evidence to, charge him with all this trafficking women. So then another informant comes forward and says that she was the girlfriend of this Gavin Jones, and that he told her that he killed Mollie, him and another person, and that they framed Mahina Rivera for the murder. Now, someone asked, well, if she's in a trap house, how is she stabbed on the side of the road? Well, I'm surmising that what they're going to say is that they took her out of the trap house because they wanted to frame Christian Mahina Rivera. They threw her body on the side of the road. She was probably still alive, and that when Christian drove, they went and got her, stabbed her, and put her in the back of her car. Because, as you recall, they never found any blood stains anywhere, but that also could have been explained by, the tornado that came through the next day and the horrible weather that they had. The other evidence was that three people had vanished into thin air. There was a young boy, 11-year-old boy who had vanished, Mollie Tibbetts who had vanished, and then this woman who was abducted, that says she was abducted and put in this house for sex trafficking. So then the judge says, okay, I've heard everything. So what they want from the prosecution is the records of all this. They want the records of the case against James Lowe. They want the records of the statement taken by Gavin Ross and the other inmate that heard all this. They want the records of this sex trafficking investigation. And so the judge says to the prosecution, well, what do you say to this? He says, I say no, I'm not giving them anything. The trial is over. There's no discovery after a trial. There's no rule of evidence that supports that they can have discovery after trial. And in order for us to get all of this information, we would have to contact multiple agencies and get the records. And these are all ongoing investigations, and I doubt they would give us the records anyway. Now, what is a surprise to me is that there are all these little tiny small towns here in Iowa, and there's this huge sex trafficking thing going on in the middle of it all. What? Yeah, you think you're going to move to a small town, everybody's, like Virgin River. You're going to move to Virgin River and everybody knows everybody and it's safe to go jogging at night. Nope. Because you never know who your neighbor is. And one of the things that came out that the defense attorney was saying is that they realized that there was so much heat associated with the search for Mollie Tibbetts that they were getting very close to the trap house, that they had already interviewed people next door, and they thought, well, we've got to get the heat off of us and get this woman out of here. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. So at the end of the hearing, the judge said he would take all of this under advisement and he would give them a written ruling in a few days. So he didn't rule on the motion to compel, but then he said, I want to set the motion to set aside the verdict and the motion for a new trial as quickly as possible. So that is set for July 27th, and I will cover that as well. So interesting. These new developments are really, really interesting. So yeah, where are we on time? Okay. We will get back to the Joshua A. trial tomorrow because it hasn't gone away. It's still there. I'm sorry I had to kind of veer off from that. I am still listening to the testimony of Rebecca Barkowski, who is on the stand. She is the one of the victims of the shooting. As you recall, there were 3 people shot by Joshua Aid that evening. She was his ex-girlfriend, shot in the head and survived. And she has a lot to say, but last night I was diamond painting and listening to her get cross-examined, and the defense attorney was just brutal. I mean, never blame the victim. That's always been my motto, but he was going that direction. So we'll cover that in tomorrow's Saturday edition of the morning show. Now, this is totally off topic, but one thing I have to ask for my loyal viewers out there, is my thumbnail confusing? Because I'm trying to use an identifiable thumbnail that has an episode number to it, and then maybe just a little explanation of content. Is that confusing? Or, do you like it, or do you want me to go back to where I would just show my face and then put some text into the thumbnail? Is that easier to find? Or do you care one way or the other? Or because my viewership seems to have dropped off since I put the new thumbnail up there. I don't know if it's confusing to people or if people are just taking a break from crime. I don't know. I'm just curious because I'd like some feedback about the new thumbnail. And I do like that I'm counting the episodes. What I did was I went back and counted from the first episode where I included the crime stories. So let me know what you think of that, because I'm just curious. I'm also wanting to get this day over with. Well, it's the weekend. Oh my goodness. So what happened this day in history? Oh man, I got a good one for you. Now, this was in 1995, July 16th, 1995. day in history. Do, 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 do. Amazon opens for business. That is my absolute, without a doubt, favorite go-to retailer. Didn't used to be, but now, wow, I would rather stay home. I think the pandemic helped this company. If they didn't need the help, but it helped. Didn't hurt, that's for sure. So on July 16th, Amazon officially opens for business as an online bookseller. That's all they did, was they sell books. Within a month, the fledgling retailer had shipped books to all 50 U.S. states and 45 countries. The founder was Jeff Bezos, the guy that's getting ready to fly into space. Yep. His motto was "Get Big Fast." This was a Seattle-based company. It eventually morphed into an e-commerce colossus. Yes, well, that's just an understatement. Bezos earned an undergraduate degree in computer science and electrical engineering from Princeton University in 1986. Then he worked in the financial service industries in New York City. But in 1994, after realizing the commercial potential of the internet and determining that books might sell well online, he moved to Washington and founded Amazon. Now, when he first started, he called the company Cadabra, but people were making fun of it and calling it Cadaver. So he changed the name to Amazon after the Amazon River, because it's big, it has no limits. That was kind of the idea behind the name Amazon. So he started this company with very few employees. He marketed it as the Earth's biggest bookstore. By the end of 1996, a year later, he had racked up $15 million in revenue. Yeah. He then took the company public in 1997 with an initial public offering, IPO. IPOs, I wish I could have got into this. This is where the public can now buy stock. Can you imagine what that stock would be worth now? Holy moly. By doing that, he was able to raise $57 million to get his company, really going. So he started expanding, started selling CDs, music. Then he got into the Kindle Fire. Then he purchased Whole Foods. He also purchased Zappos, which is where I used to get all my shoes. Those companies still exist, but they're owned by Amazon. Then they started television production, which is your Amazon Prime. And then they started letting other retailers sell beside them. So now other retailers could go to Amazon and sell their things. So this company, by December of '99, had shipped 20 million items into 150 countries around the globe. That same month, Bezos was made Time Magazine's Man of the Year. But they said they didn't post their first full year profit until 2003. Wow. So Amazon has surpassed Walmart as the world's most valuable retailer. 2 decades after its founding, and with Bezos still at the helm, Amazon's market value was $250 billion. Yeah. $1 billion. Is that how you go? $1 billion. Yeah. And then Bezos stepped down as CEO to go work on his other company, his spacecraft company called Blue Origin, which is where he's going to go up in a rocket here soon, in the next few days, I think. Or, in the coming weeks, we're going to see Bezos go into space. And he's supposedly going to go just a little higher than Richard Branson did. Yes, we shall see. We shall see. Do, 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 do. Because, man, if you got in on that IPO and bought stock, holy moly. Same thing with Disney. You know, if you bought that, if you were part of that initial IPO, and a lot of people were, they have Disney stock. It's worth a lot of money. Yes, it is. So I'm sure one of you guys is going to tell me, yes, I have Amazon stock. If you do, will you be my friend? No, I doubt that anybody that watches me has Amazon stock, because that would be huge. Huge. Oh my goodness. So I do have to go into the office today. Yeah. Yesterday was one of the Thursdays is when my coworker that sits behind me, she's there. So we have a lot of chit chat and conversation back and forth. Which, you know, it's okay. I'm learning to be sociable again. It's a skill I lost during the pandemic, apparently. I know. But it's nice to catch up. But I don't tell her anything I don't want anybody else to know because, yeah, she's a gossip. She's a gossip. That's okay. As long as you know that people are gossips and you filter what you tell them, it's okay. Yep. Oh my! So tonight is Mickey Sunshine Creates at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 Eastern, and DP Addiction Adventures. Our good friend Jennifer Roberts, she'll be on at 8 Central, 9 Eastern. And, I always fail to mention this, and it deserves mentioning, that there are lives throughout Friday afternoon. I think Billy starts it off. Billy's, Billy, I'm sorry, Billy. Hold on, I'll tell you. I know Crystal's shouting at the screen. I know, she knows. Billy's, it's called Billy's Billy's Crafting Lounge. Okay, so I believe he comes on around noonish Central Time. And then I believe Nana comes on and Crystal comes on. I don't know who else. So, and I don't have a list that tells me times or anything, but if you know, pop it into the comments so everybody can see. But I will be in Mickey's live for sure. I like to go to the other lives, but I'm at work. And it's difficult. If I can pop in, sometimes I do, but it's difficult while I'm working to do that. So I will see you all tonight. If you see me in a live, say hello to me, and I will see you tonight or tomorrow in the morning show.